going over to Twitch and YouTube.
Yeah, I'm checking YouTube now. Yep, YouTube's hot.
What are you doing there, Tim?
Sorry, what's...
Let's spell Nintendo Dads right.
Tim, you doing okay over there, buddy?
Yes.
Because it looked like you were moving a paper bag.
Yes, I was moving a paper bag.
Okay.
Oh,
cool. Just like,
Artemis Prime ran into an error initiating the session for recording. Critical.
We're doing the
health.
prediction one first, right?
No.
What did I do?
No, we're doing Pokemon first.
Pokemon first. Okay, gotcha.
Okay, hang on. I'm gonna do the only thing that I know that I changed just a minute ago. I put it in a tiled window. So
yeah, I just got a warning that just popped up that said you're all done.
All right, I'm gonna hit do recording, so this will cause a delay. Give me a minute. All right.
there he is.
Everyone should be back. Or Tim's still running health. Tim's back. Justin's running health checks.
Yay!
Yeah,
Sweet.
I think you can minimize, but you can't tile or close.
Okay. Well, then I will just
Don't touch anything, Marty. Don't ruin it for us.
Just throw it. Throw another window over it and leave it alone. Okay, I'm gonna hit record one more time. If this still fails, I'm gonna screw it. We'll play with it later.
Okay.
Okay.
yes. Now it's
Zencaster's
recording.
Are we good?
We're good.
Yep.
Jesse, where are you?
What?
I hear Jesse. Tim, do you not hear Jesse?
I hear Jesse.
I'm here. I don't hear Tim.
What?
You have got to be kidding me.
All right, let me stop Zencaster and hit a new recording again.
Is everybody there?
I'm here. I hear Marty.
All right, now I hear that.
I hear Tim.
Justin
Do I hear potato chips?
I don't hear potato chips.
says waiting for microphone. Okay, Justin.
Yes.
Now I hear it. Now I hear
Okay.
it. There we go.
Yay!
Now I
all
hear
right.
everybody.
All right.
do
Are we
this.
all fine?
I hope so.
Oh my
Take-
God.
Take 5.
All right, here we go. 3, 2, 1. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Nintendo Pokemon Direct. That's right, it's Justin Massa, and I've got 3 of the coolest guys on the internet here to talk about the Nintendo I should say more specifically, the Pokemon Direct that happened today. So guys, we're going to jump into this. Is like a bonus episode. It happened today. We want to kind of chat about it and have a conversation. So obviously, joining me today, Mr. Jesse Waldeck,
Greetings.
Timothy Alf, and Marty Estes.
It just quit recording.
You son of a biscuit box.
Okay, everyone.
Does it say anything about why it's aborting?
Critical health check failed. That's all it says. All right, let's everyone abandon Zencaster and unmute your Skypes.
Okay.
Oh well.
Present.
I just wonder. I'm just spitballing here. Is it because we have 2 audio things or video things going at the same time? Is it because we're running Skype and Zencaster at the same time?
Possibly, but
What I hear is
you
more...
have audio and video going on with Skype all the time. It's just
Well, I know. I'm just
the only difference is we now have 2
I'm
audio
just
streams
asking.
going on. One of them is silence.
So what
Yeah.
I hear now is that we're going to test it and come back later.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's Marty's laptop that's throwing the fits right now.
Is it? Are you sure it's me?
It said it was something with you. Maybe we need to get you with Firefox.
I'm on Firefox.
Oh, you are?
I was on Firefox.
Oh, maybe we should see what happens.
But
if you
here's
use
the
Safari.
crazy thing: is I've recorded 2 podcasts with Zencaster, and
Huh.
it didn't on this machine, and it didn't give me any problem. But look, we're behind. Let's go ahead. If it's me, we'll figure something out. I'm sorry.
We are
Right.
still live on YouTube.
Yes.
So
Yeah. Let's keep going, shall we?
you will
Whatever.
need to start the show over
Jesse,
again.
do you want to... Yep.
Go ahead and start it. I just noted the time so I know where the edit is.
Okay. 100% right, Mecha Dragon. I was on a roll. Let's do it, folks. Ladies and gentlemen, 3, 2, 1. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Pokemon Direct Reaction. I'm Justin Masson. I'm here with 3 of the coolest guys around the internet. Mr. Jesse Waldack, Timothy Alf, and Marty Estes. And guys, we're going to break down for you our thoughts on the Pokemon Direct. This is a bonus mini episode of Nintendo Dads. You've also going to be getting in your podcast catcher of choice, also our 2020 predictions, but we wanted to give this to you as a bonus because it is exciting stuff. Around the horn really quickly. Jesse, quick thoughts on this Direct?
As someone who really didn't enjoy this generation, nothing here is going to convince me to get back into it. But my son is all over it.
All right. Perfect. And for those of you that don't know really what we're talking about, 2 things were announced this Direct. Actually, I'm going to give you like a 2.25. Number 1 is Pokemon Mystery Dungeon something DX is coming out.
It's in the notes, dude. It's
listen.
Rescue Team DX.
There it is, Rescue Team DX. I was using a different browser today. It's been a new day for me. All right, that is coming out in March 6, 2020. Pre-orders are available, and there's a demo available as well. And then, of course, Nintendo, they then released or announced the Pokemon Sword and Shield expansion pass. We're going to talk about that a whole lot later. And then they also, as the Point 5 commentary said, mention that Pokemon Home coming in February 2020. Before we break down all that news, I want to go quickly continue around the horn. Timothy Alf, how are you doing, sir?
No, we don't hear you.
I don't hear you, Tim. Marty Estes.
I'm here. I can give my impressions.
Okay.
All right. So I'm super excited about this, as I'm on the flip flop of Jesse here, as he is a way bigger Pokemon fan than I am. But I have loved Gen 8. I thought that Pokemon Sword and Shield were fantastic. And I actually still working my way through them. I'm just now at the 3rd gym. So don't judge me. Sure. But everything that I saw today, I really enjoyed. And I even downloaded at Jesse's recommendation, Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Rescue Team DX, and played through the entire demo earlier today and actually enjoyed it. There's some things about it that kind of made me scratch my head, and we'll talk about those, I guess, when we dive into that a little more in depth. But
Marty asks, what reason do I have to download this demo? And I said, you like roguelikes? And that was enough.
And it's sure. You were exactly right. It's Enter the Gungeon with Pokemon, only not as good. But anyway, as somebody who is not like a super huge Pokemon fan, I didn't go into the Direct expecting anything at all, but very happy with what they revealed.
That's fair. Timothy Alf, I think you've got your sound back, sir.
I think so. Can you hear me?
We can. Lovely voice, sir. How are you?
I'm great. I'm excited. Was pleasantly surprised by today's Direct, and I didn't get to download the demo of the Mystery Dungeon yet, but I want to check that out because it was something I know my oldest, he got to play. And I watched him play on the Game Boy, and kind of from afar, just kind of enjoyed it. So I'm looking forward to checking that out myself. But for me, the expansion passes actually have me more excited for Pokemon than it ever has before. So
tell me more. Tell me why.
Because of just where they're going with it. It's DLC. I don't have to go buy a brand new game. Like a Ultra Pokemon Sword or Ultra Pokemon Shield, this year or whenever it was going to come out. I get to do the expansion passes, and it's $30 to play, get the full expansion pass for the Shield, and then I'm sure my kids are going to probably want it too. So there's going to be a lot of money thrown around at Nintendo, I'm sure. But I'm looking forward to it, and what they showed, the concepts, has me really excited about, especially the Isle of Armor. That one really intrigued me because of the kind of kung fu aspect of things there. So I'm excited to try that out. And even the Crown of Tundra and the new character or the new legendary Pokemon that was shown there, it looks kind of interesting to learn more about.
Yeah, can I just say here, I love the idea of this DLC replacing a new version of the game. Like,
Mm-hmm.
we joked around in the past about what's it going to be? Is it going to be like Pokemon Trebuchet or Pokemon Gun or Pokemon Axe?
Right.
I don't know what we. Yeah, I think Trebuchet was the one that we joked about. Is even named an episode for, but
Yeah.
like this being a natural extension of the game I already have, and I can get both of them for $30
Right.
together, I think is a huge win. But Tim, I'm on the opposite side of you on this in that I thought the Crown of Tundra looked way cooler than. I mean, I love the kung fu thing.
Was it because it was in the snow
Uh,
and it's colder?
Kinda.
It's cooler. To see what I
kind
did
of,
there?
but no, like I really liked the design of the outfits that you're going to get for your characters there, the
Yeah.
like the snowsuits and the what Jesse, help me out here because I don't know Pokemon and I can't pronounce Pokemon. So what are the rock Pokemon that were shown off in that? I've seen them before.
Well, I just call them the
Bouldery.
Reggie. Well, I just call them the group. I just call them the Reggies. The existing four are Regirock, Regice, Registeel, and Regigigas, and we know there's going to be two more coming. We don't know what they're called yet. They were
I bet
not
one of them
named.
is going to be called Regifizemi.
Oh, that's an opportunity.
But no, like that looked really cool. I do like the other, like the what's the name of the Cub Fu, the other legendary Pokemon that evolves into like the Kung Fu type with two fighting styles. I really
Urshifu.
thought that was the Urshifu. Yeah, I thought he was really cool.
Yeah,
In fact,
when I saw Urshifu for the first time, it made me think of the father from Ranma One Half. If you,
Ginma.
yeah. So anyone who doesn't know the show, not kid friendly,
No, it is
So-
not. But it's a good show.
Google away, but keep the kids away. Do it out of
like,
kids.
Like, I will say this, and Justin, I'm interested in hearing what you thought because I know you watched it. And I know you did a reaction video earlier today, but like I watched this and I was having my morning coffee, and my son came downstairs in the middle of it and immediately got super hype about it, and the thought came to my mind during this is how you do DLC.
Yeah.
Because it's not just, hey, here's some more Pokemon and some outfits. It's, hey, here's a whole new story. And something else that was revealed today that I don't see in our notes, that new Pokemon will be added to the Galarian Dex, but there will also be 2 new Pokedexes. There will be an Isle of Armor Pokedex, and there will be a Crown of whatever.
Okay,
Pokedex.
I don't think I knew that they were going to be separated.
No, there's
Understood.
so like I guess there's going to be some bleed over, but there's going to be some you can only catch in that setting, and that's
Right.
why they their own Pokedex.
Which makes
So
sense.
that was- I
Gen
saw
7
that
did
on
the
Twitter.
same thing. They had several smaller ones that did have overlap.
Yeah, so I saw that on Twitter earlier tonight, and I definitely wanted to bring that up. So Justin, your reaction to this? I mean, I know the video's out there, but for those of us who haven't seen that yet, or people who maybe don't catch us on YouTube, what do you think?
Yeah, so I'll kind of break it down really quickly. Like the mystery dungeon thing, I had no interest in, so I just moved on from that essentially.
But you were right in that it was a dungeon crawler type of game.
There you go, right? I was like, it's a dungeon thingy. I'm like, I'm out. I actually found this really interesting and really fascinating, and I think that Marty, you kind of nailed it on the head. There was that I think this is really how you do DLC right. Now, there's a couple very interesting things that I heard during these conversations, and definitely, I mean, any presentation, any direct a PR person has gone through, right? They've massaged it, they've tooled it. But a couple things I want to bring attention to: the regions that are being introduced now, they made very distinctive commentary about how the regions are similar to the wild area in relation to camera movement and exploration.
Which is
Right,
what
so
I said that the whole game should have been.
Yeah, exactly. And I think interestingly enough, Jesse, I think that was a resounding comment from so many people. And I'm not saying that a game review or feedback has to dictate changes, but I think that definitely that was probably an opportunity they saw of like, okay, so let's do this differently. So I thought
Well,
that was maybe a
right.
good
Well,
commentary.
I've been playing Dragon Quest 11 for the
Yep.
last few weeks, and even Dragon Quest 8, you could do that anywhere in the game. So
Yeah.
this is not a new technology.
No, I don't think so, but I think it's new to the Pokemon franchise, right? And so I think that
Right.
that was a good change for them, and I think very much so. And I went back and it was interesting. I saw so many people after the direct jump on the Switch and play some more. And I'm going to be very honest, as did I. Jumped on today and played Shield for about an hour. Marty, I beat the third gym, so I'm a little maybe just a little bit ahead of you.
Well,
And that's a
this
testament,
game
folks.
is in my
I'm still playing
backlog.
Pokemon, so there's a testament right there.
Yeah, this game's in my backlog that I have to complete before Animal Crossing is
There
out.
you go. Right.
I think what I've got to do to get through this game is I've got to stop obsessing about catching every different Pokemon on every route. Like I
Yeah.
just need to just move.
Yeah.
And I've been doing that. Like the last time I played it, I was like just forward progression. That is the goal.
That's
And
right.
so I cleared some land there. But like I love the idea that can I tell you what my favorite part of the whole trailer was? It
Sure.
was Venusaur and Blastoise. That was it. Like just the fact that they're back, the fact that they not only are
They didn't talk about it, but when they were introducing each of the 2 DLC packs, they did it with various concept art, and so we saw that they were coming in, I believe, the first expansion.
I would, yeah,
I have it in my notes. Yeah,
it looks
Yeah.
to me like they're more suited for the Isle of Armor.
yeah, it's Isle of Armor.
Uh,
Crown Tundra also has. We'll introduce Galarian, Articuno, Zapdos, and Moltres.
Yeah.
yeah, I didn't think those were as good of designs as.
I think the other interesting things that I kind of want to just to pull forward here, and I think this is I think the Pokemon that are being introduced are great, but I think like the other commentary I would say here is the fact that they said that basically we're adding Pokemon to the Pokedex that you may have seen in other places, including those legendaries, right? I think that's a very interesting statement. Again, this is, I think, in a bit of a response to what we heard from the National Dex kind of being removed, right? So I think there's a response to that as well. I also think, Jesse or Marty, you brought it up a couple moments ago, is that idea of like, you don't need to buy the Ultra form, whatever it is going to be now, right? And they said, like, you use your current save data. It's an expansion. It keeps you going. If you think about it, with these both these updates, this will progressively take the life cycle of this game to being at least a full year, right? That I think is very interesting, right? They said fall 2020.
Well, it is because of the release dates of both those expansions are separate. Basically in March and then in fall.
Yeah.
The other thing that it does is it doesn't just increase the longevity of this, it increases the footprint of the game as far as how relevant it stays on people's mind.
Correct.
It's not well, they pumped out Pokemon Sun and then 16 months or so we're going to get another, or 12 months ago we're going to get another Ultra Sun and we're going to have to start all over. Now it's all coming together in this one game.
Yeah, thinking Pro-Con, the Pro is you don't have to start over, where before when you bought the third game, you had to start from ground zero again.
And it's keeping it in the forefront of people's minds as well.
But the con of this, and people are going to twist it, I'm sure someone's going to make this, is they're going to make it sound like that they are paywalling Pokemon through DLC. I'm like, well, kind of, but the alternative is they cut this game off, do a new game, and now you have to pay twice as much to get the same content. So either way, you have to pay more.
Well, the other thing I'd say about that, and Jesse, maybe correct me if I'm wrong, because as watching it, they did mention that anyone who has the expansion pass can trade with people who do not have the expansion pass and could trade those Pokemons over to those individuals.
Right. So
there is an opportunity for people who so you're not necessarily paywalling the Pokemon, you're definitely paywalling the regions for sure, right? Like that's not.
You won't be able to catch them natively, but you can get them traded.
Correct. Exactly. So there is an opportunity there as well.
And same with Pokemon Home. If you not an expansion owner, but you have a Blastoise in home, you can transfer it over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to be honest, like, and we all know how my history with the Pokemon stuff, right? And a little bit of a goon. I'm going to be honest, like, I agree with Marty. I think this is a great way to extend the game. I think this is a really fantastic job for how they do their DLC. And again, I think of just so much what we're seeing from Nintendo. And I know the Pokemon Company and Nintendo are not the same, but there's such tight relationships there that Nintendo continues to look for opportunities to extend the life of the games they're putting out, right? This is a common theme we have seen in the Switch the entire way through. To more of a point that when a game does not get a DLC or an expansion pass or something, we more shake our heads and question why, right?
Mario Kart.
I think Mario Party is a great example of
Mario Party.
Mario Party is a
yes.
great example, right? Where it makes perfect sense. But then you're like, oh, by the way, have you tried the Xenoblade Chronicles 2 prequel, right? That's 30 hours. Have you tried the Splatoon expansion? Have you played Breath of the Wild's Master Quest, right? And you're like, there's so much there. But what Nintendo has really done well is building this idea of hype cycles and moving it forward. I think this is fantastic. I already pre-ordered the DLC and got it.
Yeah. And speaking of that, I wanted to throw to a question here that we got via email because it relates to this topic directly. It's from Third Strongest Mole, or Samuel Wagers, and he asks us this. He says, I imagine you'll be discussing Pokemon Direct tonight, so I'd like to pose a question. Do you think that Pokemon Sword and Shield DLC was planned from the beginning of development, made in response to backlash over Sword and Shield, or consists of content cut from the game to make the release date? Thanks. I'm looking forward to the show.
So my thought on this is all games have cut content. Whether it's to make a release or to just this section isn't polished and it's easier to scrap it and recycle it later. So this isn't just a new concept. So while I don't think content was cut with the explicit intent on reintroducing it as DLC, though we've seen this crap before, I don't think this was the intent here. And I think DLC has always been the intent.
Yeah, I mean,
with what they're planning, they would have needed more than 3 months to figure it out.
Yeah.
So this was definitely in the planning stages during main development of the game.
Yeah, and I agree with you, Jesse, that it's like an idea could be cut because it didn't make sense, but now we're just reintroducing the idea or coming back to it, right? Budgets, timing has to be adjusted. But I mean, I do think that, like, when you also say, by the way, like the expansion, like if the expansion was like, and it's out today, and it's expansion number 1 today, and expansion number 2 is in June, then I would have been like, okay, this was just like in the game, but you literally just moved it to the side table for a month and a half, right? As opposed to they're like, it's out by the end of June and it's sometime in the fall, right? They're still very much still working and developing it and tweaking those pieces, would be my thought at least.
Yeah, I mean, see,
go ahead.
No, there's part of me that wants to believe you, Jesse, and say that this has always been part of the plan, right? But then there's also part of me that wants to say that this is totally response. And the reason for that is the long dev cycle for DLC and the fact that they're showing it off 6 months before it releases. Because for the most part, I mean, you take the concept art and you take the in-game footage, it looks like it's a good way to being done. But on the other hand, like hearing
that means the art's done doesn't mean that the animations and the cutscenes are.
I mean, it looked like. I mean, they were showing. I mean, the cutscenes. Yeah, they've got to animate those and all that stuff. But
I did notice there was a lot less finished content in the expansion.
Hear me out here when I say this. That the fact that what we were talking about just a few minutes ago about the fact that it is that both of these regions are going to be more wild area than set perspective makes me think that this is maybe the plan was always to have some DLC, but that the plan for the DLC changed.
That's too. That's possible, because I think the thing I would say here, Marty, is that like for them to go back and make those adjustments, like the game's already out, right? It's already sold a gangbusters. It's not like you're going to impact the sales numbers because you had that peak time over Christmas. Do you know what I mean? Like no one's like, I was definitely thinking about getting Pokemon, but now that there's an expansion pass, I'm definitely going to. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
you would have had those
I know
initial
people
sales.
who will not buy the original two versions and wait for the third and fourth, but
Sure.
so these people will now say, now I have to buy the first and then buy the DLC.
Right,
Which-
but that's a minor group.
that's
right?
that's the minority.
I mean, just like Tim, he was like, I got two versions in November accidentally. Do you know what I mean? Like that was when your peak sales time was. That was when the hype cycle around it is, right? Now here's what I do think. Interesting enough, I do think expansion pass number 1 comes out either the week of E3 or the week after E3.
I think it's going to be week of, and that
Yeah.
way they can highlight it on the stream.
Yeah, correct. Yeah,
Well,
Tim,
I think it's going
I
to
actually
be. In
think
fact,
it might be
let
the
me
week
tell you what it's going to
before,
be. It's
so
going to be during the E3 digital event. It's going to be available now,
yeah.
or
I'm hoping-
available right after this presentation.
See, I'm hoping they actually do it a week before E3. Clear it out of the so they don't have to talk about it during E3 and give us new stuff.
That's possible, right? And Pokemon has sometimes done that. Sometimes
Yeah.
they have done like a mini direct a week or two before, just kind of like getting their stuff off their docket and being like, and by the way, we'll show this at the Treehouse.
Yeah.
Tim, what do you
Pokemon has
think?
traditionally had that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Tim. Sorry.
It's okay. No, there's nothing new I would say here because I agree with all you guys. Essentially, that I think that from the get-go when they were designing this game, DLC was part of the plan. What was in the DLC was probably not hashed out yet until they finished this game. Maybe had some extra things that fell into the DLC, and then also used the DLC to help squash some of the issues that they ran into, the complaints. So I agree with all of that. But honestly, it's all stuff that as long as it's not taking advantage of the consumer, like you guys were talking about, where it's like, oh, we're gonna make an extra buck by we got this developed, this will be good in the DLC, let's just move it over. It doesn't seem like that, right? It doesn't seem like that. So
let me
I
ask
think
the
that's-
devil's advocate question, because I've seen this online today.
Mhm.
Here's the devil's advocate question. So you mean that you were always going to put Blastoise and Venusaur and all these other Pokemon that I wanted in the game, and you purposefully held them out and and I've seen this today, held them hostage, quote unquote, behind a DLC paywall. You made me wait. And this is why we
Okay.
didn't have a full dex.
And I would say, I'm sorry, entitled video game player, tell me more why you think that that's deserving of you.
This is my understanding.
That's my devil's advocate to that.
So, yes, the data is in the game because I've seen people mod their save files next to bring Bulbasaur in the game, and completely playable with today. So maybe not necessarily locked by DLC, but at least locked by future patch. Again, you don't need. You won't be able to catch a Bulbasaur or any of its line or without the DLC, but you can at least have it traded or homed in once the game lets you do so.
For me, it doesn't. I don't care. So I mean, it's just like it's.
I love you, Tim.
If it's in the code, so what? It's gonna come out later. I'm gonna get it later. I can understand the passion. Believe me, I understand completely. I'd be frustrated too if, say, I'm playing Metroid, and something I felt was held back came out later. I'd probably be frustrated too. But with the Pokemon side of it, I think sometimes people nitpick a little bit too much, and just it's there, it's going to be there, or maybe not all of it's there. I'm sure there's still going to be Pokemon that's not all there.
Yeah.
So it's the new way moving forward. We just got to get over it.
Yeah,
I saw someone
I think that's a
respond
great-
to this by saying that they don't like the decision that Nintendo and Game Freak have made, but they completely understand it because there are tons of people bending over backwards to shovel them money whenever they make decisions like this.
Yeah.
So if we want to, I don't know if we want to let business Justin out of the closet here for a few minutes, but would you agree with that, business Justin, that if people are going to pay for it, why not? I mean, why wouldn't they do this, right?
Yeah. I mean, it's simple dollars to cents kind of methodology there, right? Like, as much as people shake their fist of like, I don't want that, I disagree. We did a quick Twitter poll today. I asked, are you purchasing the expansion pass? So we've had 47 votes. Okay. 53% say yes. And 11% of that also say I already did. So that's at 64%. And then another 36 is no. So you have over 50%
you should have
of your
had
audience.
you should have had I don't own Pokemon at all. So you know how many
if you're voting in the poll, like, come on now, go on, right? So
Well,
I think from a business perspective, I'm going to be honest. Here's the one thing that I kind of had a bit of a naggle about it was the expansion pass different for each version. That was where I went, really? You couldn't have just done one expansion pass?
They're really leaning into that separate version.
That was like, because I thought of like Jesse and I was like, Jesse, if you're doing this, you gotta buy like every single one of your folks one of these pass. Like I thought that was a little bit too much, but
my son's buying his own. I'm not going to.
Yeah, that's okay. Jesse,
it's now me. It's now me who has to worry about that. So if my son wants it, then that's $30. My daughter wants it, that's $30.
Yeah.
Thankfully, my son had eShop money that he got for Christmas that he had not spent yet.
There you go.
And he said, "Dad, I want this," and I said, "Be my guest.
There's your eShop
Go ahead
money.
and spend your $32.84 on your Pokemon Sword DLC, and I'll get my shield later on."
Yeah,
that does remind me a little note. We found out that if you try to use gold coins on your eShop account to buy DLC, generally does not work. It doesn't let you do that.
Okay.
So, we've seen that multiple times. In the video we put out, when the Switch launched, talking about how to spend gold coins, a lot of people said, I tried to buy V-Bucks and it wouldn't let me. And I'm like, well, you can't do it on DLC. You can only do it on games. So again, you can buy eShop cards and DLC works fine. You just can't use gold coins there.
Nice.
Wanted to also mention, Mecha Dragon in the chat says, are we not going to discuss how Inteleon's Gigamax form has him holding an actual gun?
Yeah, I saw that too. It looks like he's like in a sniper rifle tower, essentially, right?
It's fantastic.
That was, I thought, different. I don't know.
And then Rillaboom behind the drums there. That was really cool. Like the big drum set.
Mecha Dragon says he did use gold coins to buy Pokken tournament DLC.
Oh,
so I guess it depends on the game you're DLCing. Maybe it didn't work in Fortnite because it's expendable dollar.
Yeah, it's a currency.
Maybe? That might be the difference.
Interesting. Okay.
Jesse, if you give it a try, let us know. Thank you.
Yeah, Jesse, did we receive any voicemail calls regarding this that we should play and listen to right now?
We did. I have one queued up for you. Here we
go.
Oh,
fantastic! Almost like I knew that.
Hey, Dad. This is Reggie. I was just curious, with the recent release of the Pokemon DLC and 200 more Pokemon, do you think they're ever going to come up with a full dex in Sword and Shield, or is it just going to be left at 3/4? Thanks for the answer, guys. I appreciate it. Bye.
I don't think it's ever going to be a full national dex. I don't think and maybe let me just make sure I'm clear on this, because I'm speaking a language that I know nothing about. But when we talk about like the national dex and the full dex, like Reggie's question here, the dex is every single one of the Pokemon games, every single Pokemon in there. Like in version the original, there was 151. That was that dex, right? And then we added the next version, and it was like and again, I'm making numbers up, 200. So now we're at 350, right? So the national dex was 350, essentially, right? Justin does math here. So his question is, because they said we're not doing the national dex, do we think we're ever going to see a full dex, or are we just going to kind of be always at 3/4?
Pokemon Home is the national dex.
I think that's exactly it, Tim. Yeah, I think a Hundo P.
But did they not say specifically that there would never that like this decision to not have a national dex in Sword and Shield was a decision that they were going to stick with moving forward? It is their discretion to add more Pokemon to that dex, but you're never going to have all 900 and something.
Well, I looked it up, and it looks like including his, presuming Urshifu's 2 forms counts as 1 entry, because that's usually how it works. No, based on what we know, it's up to 893.
If it was a national dex.
Yes.
But they're adding, let's see, the Galarian dex was at 400. Is that correct?
Right. Galarian forms do not add to the dex. They take a slot of their...
The Pokedex that was in Sword and Shield stopped at 400. Is that correct?
Yes.
So then they said they're going to add 200 more.
More than 200. They didn't give an exact number.
So then it's safe to say that more than 200 means it's somewhere between 250 or 225 and 300.
Right.
So now you're up to 800. I mean, you're almost up to 700. But how many of them are brand new Pokemon? If there are any brand new Pokemon.
Well, I don't know.
As you say, Galarian forms don't add to it.
Right. Well, we know the new legendaries, Kubfu, Urshifu, and Calyrex. I don't know if there are any other new ones. All of the others will be your Bulbasaur, your Blastoise.
Yeah. So this is their attempt to remedy something that they've done.
Yeah. We know 3 of them coming. Slowpoke, Slowbro, Slowking.
So there's so many things going on there. So many things that I don't think are real words.
Everything was a real word.
They're Pokemon words.
Gosh darn it. I want to start wrapping this up because I know that we have definitely got shows to go, folks. I do want to say this really fast, though. Just in final notes here, expansion pass is available. Oh, actually, a couple points. Mystery Dungeon demo is out. Marty, would you recommend playing it? Give me a yay or nay.
If you like roguelikes, yes. I thought it was really charming. The graphical upgrade is extremely nice from, the Game Boy Advance, right, and the DS. It really reminded me of like the art in, this is going to sound weird, the art in Winnie the Pooh cartoons and books of the 100-Acre Wood.
Kind of looked like a watercolor type of
hand-drawn watercolor type esque stuff, and it was easy to play and understand. I think there's some weird design choices about like movement that you'll understand when you play the game, but hey,
some of that might have been the restrictions
like somebody else
of the
told
GBA.
It's kind of like what Jesse said. Do you like roguelikes? And the thought that came to me was, it's free. If I don't like it, I can immediately quit playing it and delete it. I don't know if I'm going to buy it, but yeah, play the demo. Sure.
Okay. All right. Excellent. Okay. So here's what I'm gonna say to that, folks, is so that demo is available to play. You can preload, right, the game as well. And also, if the expansion pass is out now, if you get the expansion pass, you get some free gear right now. You get some T-shirts that are free, and then you can actually get the Slowpoke Pokemon.
Yeah, Slowpoke, right. And then you can choose to evolve it in the first DLC pack to a Slowbro if you want, or you can choose to evolve it in the second expansion to a Slowking by having them hold an item at some point. And
yeah,
so
you can also meet your new regional rivals when you get that Slowpoke.
Yeah,
which again is different depending on Sword or Shield.
Correct.
Yes.
Yeah. Folks, man, that has been our bonus episode. It's a little bit more than 20 minutes. We wanted to try and keep it nice and tight, guys. Hopefully you have enjoyed this. Let us know. Send us some tweets. Send us some emails. Are you excited about it? And also, if not, you can also check out my review, or not my review, I apologize, my reaction to the Pokemon Direct for a guy who doesn't know much about Pokemon, and I have conversations with the hosts and the presenters. So that's something. Check it out on our YouTube channel. Guys, that is it for myself, Jesse, Tim, and Marty. It's been good. Hopefully you've enjoyed this bonus episode of Nintendo Dads. Bye-bye.